Hi, I'm Mike Kraft. Painting is the most popular home improvement project. And why not? It's a simple and inexpensive way to change the look of your house. With these basic techniques and Lowe's, you can add a whole new look to any room in your home. The room we're painting is in need of a makeover. The walls are a neutral off-white, and we want to change the look of the room with new paint color. And Maureen Davis, our professional painter, is going to show us the basic painting techniques. Now, Maureen, what do we need for this project?
Mike, the materials we'll need for painting are paint for your ceiling, your walls, and your trim, an angled trim brush, anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches, a roller frame, and roller covers, 3/8 of an inch nap for smooth walls, and a longer nap for ceilings. You'll need a roller extension, roller pan, and roller pan liners, a 5-gallon bucket, plus large and small stir sticks, a small container for cutting, and that's optional, but a really nice thing to have, a ladder, some safety glasses, a painter's hat, a drop cloth, and painter's tape. For cleanup, you'll need your 5-in-1 tool, a sink with running water, liquid soap, paper towels, and plastic wrap if you need to seal a wet brush overnight.
Before we get to the painting, every home is different, so make sure you get the proper supplies for your project. Always follow all manufacturer's instructions and read all the labels carefully. Now, if you're not comfortable painting, contact a professional painter.
Determine how much paint you'll need using the square footage of the room. Usually a gallon of paint covers 400 square feet.
Now, if you have any doubts on how much paint you'll need, use the paint calculator at lowes.com/calculators. Or you can just ask a Lowe's associate.
Now, we've already covered our floor and prepped our room for paint.
And you should do the same before your project. And for tips on preparing a room for paint, watch Prepping Paint Surfaces at lowes.com/videos. Now the room is ready to paint.
And the first thing we'll paint is our ceiling. So we'll use ceiling paint. If you want to use color on your ceiling, ask for a tinted flat paint. If using more than 1 gallon, mix the gallons in a 5-gallon bucket to eliminate possible color differences between the cans. And always stir thoroughly. Make sure the room is properly ventilated when painting. Open a window or even use fans to circulate the air. Adding a few drops of vanilla extract will help hide the paint smell, but keep in mind that it does not eliminate paint fumes. Also, consider using a low VOC paint. Start by cutting the edges. Pour the paint near your starting point. You can use the roller pan with a liner, or you can use a small container. It's easier to hold for cutting in edges. Dip the brush in the paint and tap it against the side of the container. Wear safety glasses and a hat when painting the ceiling. Paint the areas around the edge of the ceiling first. Covering at least 2 inches should be enough. Always finish the brush stroke back into the paint. Now we're ready to roll. Attach the roller frame to the extension. Before loading your roller with paint, dampen the cover with a wet paper towel. This will help the paint load evenly. Start in a ceiling corner and apply the paint in a W-style motion, working in a 4-foot square block. When that area is filled in and still wet, move to the next area, applying the paint in the same W technique. Overlapping the work areas while the paint is still wet will blend the edges together. When you get about half the ceiling covered, roll the roller across the ceiling, barely applying pressure. This will smooth out any areas with excess paint and eliminate ropes. Then, move on to the next area of the ceiling, applying the paint in the same W-style motion. Finish the ceiling. The paint should take about 2 to 4 hours to dry. And once your ceiling is dry, you can apply a second coat if you need to. Now it's time for the walls. Use the same techniques as you did with the ceiling. Cut in around the edges, and then paint the walls using the W pattern. Remember to overlap the work areas while the paint is still wet. Smooth out the excess paint when the wall is half covered. Then move on to the next half of the wall. The walls should be dry in 2 to 4 hours. When the walls are dry, paint the trim with an angled trim brush. Always finish your stroke back into what was just painted. Apply a second coat to the trim if needed. Now when your paint is dry, you can clean your tools. Latex paint will clean up with soap and water. Simply rinse the paint from the brush and use the wire brush to scrape the paint out of the bristles. When the water runs clean, the brush is clean. Rinse the handle too. Reform the brush and let it dry thoroughly on a paper towel. Now the roller covers take a little more time to clean. With the cover on the frame, rinse the cover under running water, scraping the paint out with the 5-in-1 tool. When most of the paint is out, remove the cover from the frame and continue scraping. You can use soap to help loosen the paint. When the cover and frame are clean, stand the cover upright on a paper towel. Move the furniture back in place and you're done.
We've given this room a whole new look and feel using proper painting techniques and quality paint from Lowe's. Lowe's has thousands of paint colors to choose from. We can even custom color match any color you bring us. To learn about more home improvement projects, watch the other how-to videos at lowes.com/videos.